Hey everybody, my name is Ben, also known as Ben Pitts. That's my in-game username. And as you can see right here, I'm rocking Ben Cisco as my avatar. It's great because not only is Ben Cisco a fantastic character, I play almost exclusively Klingons, so nobody knows what cards I'm rocking in my decks because he's disguising them. This is it's a simple tutorial video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on building a particular class. I think it's a good class for players who don't have a lot of cards, a lot of collection. Uh, it's one of the basic flagships, so excuse me, sorry, I just had spaghetti. It's one of the basic flagships, so it's available to every player as soon as they download the game. Um, yeah, so we are just going to take a look at the Raptor flagship. Look at this beautiful ship. Yeah, go win a prize. Raptor flagship. So the first thing you want to do when you are building a deck is, and this is just good advice in general, you want to look at the special, you want to look at the ultimate, and then you want to look at the core cards in your deck. So the special here, summon an escort transport. 2/1. That's the stats. It's 2 attack, 1 defense, core breach, summon a rescue transport. The rescue transport is a 1/1 core breach draw card. In the ultimate, target ship gains +4 attack and all core breach effects trigger twice. I don't find myself using the ultimate very often. I'm almost always just using the special. This helps me push board advantage, card advantage, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, let's take a look at these core cards. So every deck, every flagship, that is to say, has 8 core cards. 4 ships, 4 events, and there's always one of each rarity. One card of each rarity for one ship of each rarity, one event of each rarity. Common, rare, epic, legendary. Epic and legendary ships and events you can only get once. And there's no limit to how many commons and rares you can get of either the core cards or event cards, ship cards or event cards. So let's take a look. Here, for 2, we have a 2/2 Veteran Raptor. When a friendly core breach effect is triggered, gain +2 attack until end of turn. Core breach, for those of you who don't know, this is a core breach card. Core breach flagship. It's built around the synergy of the keyword core breach. Core breach is when your ship is destroyed. Core breach, Star Trek. It has a certain effect. This effect could be drawing a card. It could be summoning another ship. It could be attacking the enemy flagship. It could be any number of other things. So that's what a core breach does. So when one of your ships is blown up and you have this in play, this ship gets a bonus to its attack. The escort bird of prey, when a friendly core breach effect is triggered, deal 2 damage to the enemy flagship. So whenever you have a ship with the core breach effect on it, and it blows up, and this is in play, it shoots the enemy flagship. The IKS Krell, it's a 5/4, it's a pretty ship. When a friendly ship is destroyed, gain +1 attack. It's pretty straightforward. The nice thing about this is that's permanent. So this ship can just keeps on getting bigger, especially if you can protect it. This ship can be a very big ship. And then the IKS Katar, it's a 5/5. When a friendly ship is destroyed, give +1 attack to all friendly ships. Again, like the Krell, this is a permanent effect. So every time a ship is destroyed, and this is in play, all of your other ships get a bonus to their attack. I've actually never gotten to play this card. Since I've been playing this deck, I've just never seen it. Die with Honor. This is huge. This, for me, I think is the best core card, except for maybe the Katar. Best core card of the whole set. Die with Honor. Give target friendly ship core breach. Deal 2 damage to all enemy ships. And this is so good because it lets you clear your enemy board. Honor Dead. Deal 4 damage to friendly ship, 4 damage to random enemy ship. This is good if you're using it on ships with core breach, especially these free ships you get, because you take out a 1/1, you can take out a big enemy ship. You know, it's great. Unstable salvage, draw a card. That card costs 4 less to play. That's just basic card draw. You know, you're drawing a card and then you're getting a major reduction on its cost, making it easier to play. And this is free, so you're getting a free card draw and a major reduction on how much that card costs. And then Final Sacrifice, epic or legendary event, deal 4 damage to all ships. That includes your ships. But that also means that if you have any ships with core breach effects, they will get triggered by this. So it's pretty cool. This is a good reset if your enemy's got a big board presence and you don't have anything. You're like, reset. It's fun. All right. So now that we've looked at that, and this will make more sense when we get into the game, but right now we're just focusing. We want to look at the core cards. We want to see what we're doing because we want to build our deck around these core cards to complement. For example, these 2 core ships are built around core breach, and in fact, these 2 kind of friendship is destroyed. That's less directly benefiting from core breach as well, but these 2 directly benefit from core breach. This gives your ships core breach, which even if they don't have it, they can get it, which can trigger these ships. Same thing with this. You know, it's just, so we want to play sure whenever we're building a flagship, we want to try to play around what this flagship is good at. So we're going to take a deck. I'm going to build a new deck. This is my deck, but it's got a bunch of legendaries and epics, and if you're a new player, you probably don't have all those cards. So, we're going to start off. First we're going to look for basic cards. These are cards that everyone has when they start the game. We're going to build our core deck list just using basic cards. Give me a second. And the first thing we want to look for here is core breach. That's the first thing we want to look for because that's our big synergy here. Alright, so what do we got? We have the bottle class. It's a cloaking device. That means when the ship is played, it's in stealth, you can't attack it right away. Core breach, add a Jacques class to your hand. That Jacques class is a 2-cost 3/2. So when you play the ship and it's blown up, you get another card in your hand that's more powerful. It's awesome for pressing card advantage, and it's just a good value 1-drop. So there we go. We got the battle class. We have Conmal, core breach.
Listen to the voice of your blood.
I love that. Draw until you have 4 cards in hand. So if you don't have a lot of cards, he's pretty good. I don't think that Conmal is that good in this particular deck because this deck has so many ways of drawing cards. So we're not going to play Conmal. We're not going to put Conmal in this deck.
I will cut your tongue out.
Toral is amazing. Core breach. Return this crew to your hand. So you get Toral gives you constant value. He beefs up your ships so you can get free trades, easier trades, deal more damage. It's just a great card. That core breach means you always have them. You don't have to worry about losing them. There are ways you can lose them. There are crew and ships and things that can get rid of your crew, but in general, he's a 1-drop card. He's just a great value. What do we have here? We have the Raptor class. Core breach. Summon a 22nd century bird of prey. Again, so that's summoning this ship right here. 22nd century bird of prey. Core breach. Deal 2 damage to the enemy flagship. So we're going to want both of those in this deck, basically this card gives you 4 22nd century birds of prey plus 2 Raptor classes. These core breaches, that's 8 guaranteed damage to your enemy face. Just good value there. They're 2 at 2 cost. You can play them first turn or second turn. We also have the Klingon Arms Freighter. Draw a card and reduce its cost to play by 1. Now remember that our special summons a ship that gives you on core breach, gives another ship, it gives you a draw card. So this is just a way to complement that and make sure you always have card advantage. And this, the Rebel Klingon Shuttle, core breach, restore 4 hit points to your flagship. If you're ever getting low on health, this is a great ship to just play. So those are all the eligible core cards that we have with core breach for basic. And now we're going to go to common. What do we have here? Alright, so you notice that these are shiny. When you collect every copy of these ships, they become shiny. And that's a lot of fun. So we are going to do rock. Core breach, draw a card. Again, one of the things that we really want with this deck, one of the ways that you win with this deck, always pressing card advantage. You always want to have more cards than your enemy, and it's with all these low cost cards, it's easy to refill the board. Kolos.
Don't thank me yet.
When he's core breach, he summons an escort transport. Well, an escort transport just happens to be the ship that's summoned by the special. So Kolos he's giving you 2 extra ships on core breach. You get 2 extra ships, you get an extra card draw, and he's just a free special. Plus, you can
Don't thank me yet.
buff him, use him to buff a ship to survive a trade, or to increase its ship to make a trade. So he's good in that way. So let's look at another thing you want to do when you're building a deck is you want to look at curve. You always want to keep an eye on your curve. How many ship cards of each cost you have? So right now we have 4 1 cost. We have 9 2 cost cards. 3 crew. Generally speaking, you don't want more than 8. 6 to 7 is usually pretty good. So right now we're just going all core breach here. What else we got here? We have the Malon export ship, core breach, deal 1 damage to the enemy flagship. That's just kind of like a worse version of these 22nd century bird of prey, but it is also 1 cost. And we do need 1 drops, but we're not going to put it in just yet. We have the Bajoran research transport, core breach, draw a card. We have a lot of card draw right now, though. We have these ships for card draw. We have Barak for card draw. We have the special for card draw, Kolos for card draw, so we're going to hold off for now, and we're going to try and fill out our deck before we put this in. Then we have the Stolen Nebula class, core breach, summon a 1/1 shuttlecraft. This is kind of like Raptor class light. It works the same way. You're just getting slightly different stats, but both are good cards. We're going to hold off on putting any more 2 drops for the moment. We want to see what else we've got. So we're going to take off the core breach. Right now we have 13 cards with core breach. We might want a little bit more, but we're going to wait and see what other cards we have to fill this out. So we're going to go so now we're going to go basic again. We're going to see what other cards we can use to fill out this deck. Here we have the Monkey Raider. Deploy, deal 1 damage to target. This is good in the early game, just for getting rid of weak ships that you don't want around. Get a 1/1 body, can help with trades. That's always a good option here. What else do we have? For 1, there's the Bajoran Freighter. It's a 1/2. You're probably better off playing the friendly shuttlecraft just because it has a Guardian. Guardian means your opponent has to attack that first. It's like Taunt in Hearthstone. The Goroth shuttle, that's Bloodthirst. So when Bloodthirst means the ship takes damage, that gets a bonus to its attack. So that's an interesting choice. Right now, I think because we do want 2 more 1-drop ships. Right now, we only 1-drop ships we have of the bottle class, and we do want something else that we can play on the first turn. There's the Type 15 shuttle pod, Talaxian shuttle. But in general, like, if you can choose between playing a ship with 2/1 and no effect, and a ship with 2/1 and a deploy effect, we're going to want to go with this. Now, so far we don't have really any ships that can survive long enough to get 2 hit points, but we are going to get there. So we are going to look, and this has haste that basically means you can attack with it right away. This is good for pushing face damage. Right now we're going to go with the Talaxian shuttle, just for that extra damage, and that potentially used for deploy effect. Alright, so now we're gonna go look for higher cost cards. We're looking for crew, we're looking for other cards that are good for this deck. Here's another way to get card advantage. 2-drop 1/1, deploy, draw a card, same here. We're looking, just kind of like I said, we're looking to flesh off this deck. The Heroian Heavy Warship, we're going to put a couple of those. It's a 3/4 for 3. That's you're getting a lot of value there. It can trade with a lot of early game ships and survive the attack. Survive to tell about it. So that's a pretty good early game card. What else do we have here? The Kazon Fighter is a 3/1 with haste. It's not bad, but we're not going to go with it right now. I'll show you in a reason why we're not going to do that. Mercenary Hideki Fighter. It's 3/2. Deal 2 damage to target. That can deal face damage or it can clear a ship from the board. It's really good. Alternately, there's for the same price as the Voth Heavy Cruiser, 2/5 and haste. So, and that basically means, it's similar to this. You're getting that 2 damage right away, but it's just coming from a different source. Right here, though, we see the Vorcha Battle Cruiser. Cloaking device deployed, reduce target enemy ship hit points to 1. We definitely want that ship. That's just a great ship. It weakens your enemy ships so that you can take favorable trades with all of these weak ships here. Now we're going to look for some common cards. What do we got here?
I suppose this is what I deserve.
It's a good card. You deploy him, you get 4 hit points to your flagship. The Jacques classes is that card that you're getting for free off of the a bottle class. Again, we have no shortage of 2 drops right now, so we're not worried about 2 drops. What we're looking for here is 3 drops. One ship that's really good. We have a lot of 3 drops too. And the way you win this game is you want a lot of cheap ships to play. The Burrell Bird of Prey has cloaking device and haste, so you can choose to play in the not attack. If that's strategic, you can play an attack. Your opponent plays a ship with cloaking device. Any turn you don't attack, if you don't attack with that ship at the end of your turn, it goes back into stealth. So if you can try to play around, if your opponent plays a certain ship and you don't want them to trade into you, you can kind of play around that. So now we have 4 1-drops. We have 6 2-drops. We have 6 3 drops. We don't really want any more cheap cards. Now we want some bigger cards for the mid game, the late game, something that can kind of hold us off. One good ship, the Katinga Battle Cruiser. It's a 4/5, has Guardian. It's a great ship. It's good. That 4/5, it can take a lot of damage, and it also can trade with a lot of ships. And it deals a lot of damage, so it's a good ship for the mid game, the late game. Another one that we're gonna want here is this D7 Cruiser. Again, it's 4/6. It's slightly tougher with this Bloodthirst here. If it takes damage, it gains +2 attack. So that's pretty good. It's interesting. And these are the ships like this Katinga Battle Cruiser, this D7 Cruiser. That's what you're gonna want to be using your Talaxian shuttle on. So we're going to put 1 of these. We're also going to put in... How many crew do we have? We got 3. So we're going to put in 2 of these. We're going to put in 2 D5 battle cruisers. So on Bloodthirst, when this ship takes damage, it summons a Raptor class. Well, that's this ship right here. And when this ship gets you... So again, we're just getting more of that value. You can heal this ship to trigger Bloodthirst a second time. We're just getting a lot of... So we can potentially get a lot of value off this D5. Main problem here is we have a lot of 5 drops. That's the main problem I'm seeing. So we're actually going to just do 1 D7 and 1 D5. Just because we don't want too much top end here. And for 4 drops, what else do we have? There's a Koish class, Cloaking Device, Bloodthirst. But we're actually going to look for... We are going to look for some rares and epics. You may or may not have them. But we are going to throw in a couple. The IKS Vornak is amazing. It's 4-drop, 3/3, cloaking device, overkill. That overkill means that when you, what does it say? It says it gives you a definition. When this ship destroys its target, remaining damage is dealt to the enemy flagship. So, but what's really great about this ship is it gets +3 attack when attacking a ship with Guardian. So say your opponent drops the Glen. So you drop the Vornak on turn 4. Your opponent drops the Glen on turn 5. The Glen is a 3/6, and when it takes damage, heals your enemy. Heals the enemy flagship. The Vornak can trade with that ship cleanly. Even though it's only a 3/3, it can take out a 3/6. Or you can use it to take out an annoying 1/2 guard and deal 4 damage to the enemy face. It's just a very versatile card. It can take out a lot of ships. It's just a great ship. So we're going to put in the Vornak. We're going to take off the 4-drop. And then see what are some other good... here we have some more cards that are great. The
I'm weary of the chase.
Deploy 2, deal 2 damage to target enemy ship. That's a good card for playing. You can get rid of enemy guards.
You accuse me because I am Klingon.
For Zidane. Zidane is a great card too. He's a weaker version of Gorn in terms of he doesn't do as much damage, but you're getting a
You
bigger
accuse me
boost
because I am Klingon.
attack. You can put him in a defense slot. We're gonna put in Zidane as well. Alright. And then what else? We have Chorus. He does core breach, deal 2 damage to all ships. Again, that includes your ships, so we're not gonna put Chorus in here. Zetbur is a good card. But the other one we're going to go with here is we're going with Crass. When Crass is played on a damaged ship, you gain 10 auxiliary power. Auxiliary power helps
I'll teach you what killing really means.
Get your specials going more quickly. So that's just a good card in general. The other ship that we're going to go for here, it's a 4-drop. It's the IK, because we're weak on the 4s here. The IKS Denos. Cloaking device, Bloodthirst. Gain +3 attack. That 4 health is nice because it can trade with a lot of ships. Bloodthirst is always nice. So it's just kind of a good, 1-drop there. Wait, did I not put the Vornak in? Where's the Vornak? I didn't put the Vornak in. Sorry. Okay, so there we go. We have the Denos and the Vornak, and that's kind of rounding out. So this is just all of these cards are basic, common, and rare. So they're really easy. There's not a lot of, you don't have to use any epic replicator patterns. You get plenty of commons. You can get common replicator patterns for with 6 wins in the Quarks Arena. You can replicate them for 100 Latinum. It's not hard to make 100 Latinum. Well, it's pretty quick in Quarks again to make that Latinum too. Just by logging in, you get Latinum. So it's not hard to get these epic cards if you don't have them. And again, we only have a couple. We have the Vornak, the Denos, we have Kraz, and we have the Gorn and Zidane. So we have 5 epic cards. Everything else is basic or common. Common cards are really easy to craft. They're only 40 Latinum, So this is a pretty basic deck. There's no legendaries. This is something that you could build within a week, of playing or less. Just a couple of days of playing, you could build this deck. And a lot of these cards, you just start with these cards. So now, and look, we have how many? We have that gives you ships with Bloodthirst. Not Bloodthirst. Core Breach. This is Core Breach. The Raptors have Core Breach, Koloss, Arms Traders. We have a number of ships here that are in crew that are complementing our core cards. So we're going to take this deck, now that we've built it, we are going to take it into, and unfortunately, I'm fairly high ranked, so I don't know how well this will perform at high ranks like I'm at, just because it's no epics, no legendaries, but we are going to play it. Cancel. Make sure we select the right deck. Did not select the right deck. So we're gonna play it. We're gonna see how well it plays. I'm gonna even if I lose, win or lose, you learn a lot of valuable things from losing as well as winning. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you through a couple of matches, so you can kind of see how the cards work in play in practice. See my strategies here. Let's see who we're up against. Excelsior, this is Retreat. Robomaster, so however I can possibly expect to crack this deck. There's a good chance of that. Look at this. So first, let's talk about mulligans. This is your opening hand. You can choose to mulligan any of these cards. We can't play anything until turn 3. We're going first, so that means we lose our first 2 turns. A deck like this, you cannot afford to lose momentum. We're going to keep the Bird of Prey because we do want a 3-drop in our hand, and it's just a great card for the early game. We're going to get rid of the other 2. We have plenty of 1 and 2 drops in this deck. And we get another 3, another 4, and we top deck a 5. That's just bad luck. Sometimes we have bad luck on the mulligans. No way around. Alright, drop the 2-2 with Golden Guardian. Fortunately, we do top deck and answer. This trades well with that. We get a Core Breach, we get another.
Being in Starfleet is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Alright, he played Travis Mayweather. Travis Mayweather is ruler of the Gorn. Deal 2 damage to target enemy ship. Main difference is that, you know, he can be put in attack or defense slot. We can play this Rebel Shuttle here. We don't want to because we haven't taken any damage to the face. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this Royal Hurricane play. Right? We're going to destroy this. Again, this is a very bad hand of this deck because this deck is designed to push a lot of tempo, and I don't have any of my tempo. So this is just very bad for me right now, in a very bad place.
You're in my way.
Not sure why he played her. He hasn't taken any base damage, but we're going to play the IKS Denos. It's a 4-drop. So he can't target. Now, next turn, we can use our special. You need 20 Ox to use a special. You need 40 Ox to use your ultimate. Again, there's very little chance I'm using ultimate in this deck. What I really want to be doing is using my special. That card he just played, that's a Type 6 shuttlecraft. When it retreats, you add a random 3-cost ship to your hand. So he just got a random ship. It could be anything. It could be this, it could be something else. I have no way of knowing what to draw. True. But, you know. He uses his special. His special allows him to retreat target friendly ship. So he just retreated his ship. He got the cost of it back. It's 3 costs. When you retreat a ship, you get its cost back. So he just used his special to retreat that ship. He gets his cost back. Now he can play another ship under 5 costs. When this ship retreats, it summons an accessory class recon. He just made it stronger. So what are we going to do? He's doing that, and the reason he played that is he plays this ship, Noxkin Fighter, give target friendly ship +1/+1. He does this because this means that I cannot trade with this at face value. So the first thing we do, before we attack, before we play any cards, before we do anything, we want to hit this special button. Because every time you hit the special, you get a free card. And I have to take Final Sacrifice. This is a great card. This is a great card, but when you're offered a legendary, you almost always want to take the legendary. This is just bad situationally. We don't want to play it right now at all. We're just kind of taking this because you never know when you're going to want it. We have Zidane. We can put Zidane in the attack or the defense. We're going to put him in the defense slot, even though he doesn't give as much of a bonus, because on Bloodthirst, this ship gets a huge attack bonus. So actually, do I want to do that? No. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to play. What do you think here? How do I want to do this? I'm actually not sure how I want to do this. I have to think. I got 50 seconds. I could play both of these crew. You know, generally, however, want to put both of your crew on one ship. But I want to play Kraz on this damaged ship to gain that extra auxiliary. I don't really need to. I could just play my D7 cruiser, but I want to destroy this ship. I don't want him to get that extra class recon. So what we're going to do here is we are going to put him. We are going to put him in my defense slot.
You accuse me because I am
No
Klingon.
damage. I can take this trade. And I'm going to go ahead and play this ship in turn. I've taken 3 damage. It's not quite 4, but that's good enough that I can build up a board presence. 3/2 helps to fight for the board. If it loses, I'm still getting 3 health back, so that's not bad. Now the ball's in his court. Most likely he's going to take this trade here. But there wasn't really any point in putting him here. So that's what I figured. You don't want to leave a 6/3 on the board. He doesn't do his turn, so we are going to we're going to play a D7 cruiser. We're going to face. reason to play Terrell right now. I don't need to push that extra damage. So we're just gonna... Here's another thing. Okay, so at the end of your turn, I didn't mention this earlier, you get 5 points in your auxiliary power. And any energy left over that you don't spend on that turn goes back into your auxiliary. So if you don't spend all your energy, you can build up your auxiliary for your special predator. So he played another type 6 shuttlecraft to get that extra random 3 cost, use a special to retreat it automatically. I don't know if this card is going to be. He doesn't know if this card is going to be either. So, and it looks like it's most likely this. He deploys this. The Shrant Research Cruiser. Deploy. Restore 4 hit points to your flagship. So, what we're going to do here, I'm gonna trigger this core breach here. So, I'm going to put Toral here.
I will cut your tongue out.
Toral allows me to trade this right here. I get Toral goes right back in my hand. I get this rescue transport or reach draw card. We're going to do here. We're going to deal this. We're going to use this to take this out. Now this is a 6/5 because he got a proc to the Bloodthirst. We're going to play Kraz here.
Teach you what killing
Hit that
really
extra
means.
auxiliary. Hit the special button. And now we're going to take Die with Honor. Give target friendly ship core breach to do damage to all enemy ships. That's a great card. And then if he starts to play a bunch of ships here, guards or whatever, I can use that to help fight in the board. We deal 3 damage to his face. We pass, and that extra energy I didn't spend goes back into my auxiliary. And one of the reasons I'm not playing Terrell at the beginning of every turn is that there are cards like Garrick and Kieran Nerys that can make me lose my crew, so I don't want to have crew out unnecessarily on the board. As you can tell, he's not in a particularly good position right now. I have a full board, he doesn't have any, and that can change things quite quickly. At 5/7, when he uses his flagship abilities, he gains 10 of power. I'm not particularly concerned about this. Watch what I'm. So what's what I'm going to do? You can't play any more ships when you have a full board. But what I can do. So this ship, I attack. You draw a card. We get the board out. That's a great ship. That's the Guardian Killer. But we're not going to play it right now. First, we're going to play the Vortraw Battlecruiser. Reduce his hit points to 1. Trade here. We have another rescue transport, and now we can attack for a whole lot of damage, and he's down to 17. I don't actually think I'm going to need Die with Honor, but it's just nice to have it if I do. And who knows? I don't know what he's got in his deck. He could have a lot of good cards and totally turn this around. I don't know. But the next turn we have the special. But I don't usually, if I don't need the cards and I don't need the ship, I try not to use it if I don't need to. So we won't use the special next turn. Or maybe I will. Maybe I'll just trade here and he plays this. He retreats it. He wants to get, the core cards. Well, there's a good ship. So when this ship retreats, he gets another copy of this ship, and he gets to draw a card. So this really isn't something that I want to leave on the board. Ah, there we go. So he played the Fabricated Command. Retreat target enemy ship and return it to its owner's hand. So in doing that, see, I lost Cross. It happens. Of course, this ship is now a 4/6 when I play it again, but I still have it. We are going to trade here. First, let's hit my special, just to see what we get. Don't really need Die with Honor. We already have one. We're gonna grab. He hasn't played. This is best for clearing when the enemy has a lot of smaller ships, and he's mostly playing bigger ships. We're not gonna wait on this. We're gonna play Escort Bird of Prey. When a friendly core breach is triggered, so now I can play that if I want to. I don't need to play it right now. Trade there so that he doesn't get that retreat ability. We're we're gonna go ahead and we're just going to play. Actually, we're just gonna play the Born. Actually, place another big card. I can use this to check it out. And since I have Torau, that gives me an extra damage boost too. If I need a little bit more damage to and Robomaster conceded. So that's not bad actually, considering that this is just a kind of a budget deck. Let's see if we can. Let's try some more. See what else we can find. We'll do another match and just kind of see how this plays out. You kind of saw a little bit of how that played out there. You know, he was playing a very slow game. Retreat sometimes is a very slow game, and you know, even though I missed my early turns, he wasn't playing very fast and aggressively, so it didn't really affect me to miss those early turns. Whereas if I had been in a more aggressive matchup, like against the NX or a Negbar or something, I very well may have lost that match, simply because of the tempo that I lost from a bad starting hand. That's kind of how that goes. Hopefully we get matched here soon, and we can see. As far as legendaries go, if you play with this flagship and you like how it plays, and you're thinking about legendaries, there are so many great legendary ships that either have Core Breach or complement Core Breach. One that I highly recommend, the IKS Negbar. It's the biggest Klingon ship in the game. It's an 8 cost, 6 attack, 8 defense with Guardian, and each time a friendly ship triggers Core Breach, you deal 3 damage to the enemy face. So it's great. Not only are you defending yourself, but you're attacking your enemy. It's a good card. Other good legendary ships, the Volklang. It's a 5 cost 6/3. On Core Breach, you deal 3 damage to all enemy ships. That's we're gonna cancel and go back again. That's great for board clear. We have the IKS Duras. It's amazing. It's a 4/2 Bloodthirst +2 attack. Core Breach, return the ship to your hand. So that ship, if it's not silenced or something, that ship just can give you infinite value. It's just really an amazing ship. And since it has the Core Breach, it's in combos with other cards. Epics that are great. Duras, it's a very strong epic card. You might want to, consider for this deck. On Core Breach, he draws 2 cards from your enemy deck and puts them into your hand. It can be a very powerful ability. Depending on it's random, of course, but it can be powerful. Thursa is amazing. She's 1 attack, 0 defense, 2 cost, draw a card, and reduce that cost of the card played by 1, and then on Core Breach, return it to your hand. So you can get infinite value. You have to be a little careful with Thursa because you can fatigue yourself, but you can get so much value off of Thursa. Really combos well with some of your other core abilities. Does not seem to be a lot of people playing right now. We're just gonna hang out here and meet what we can meet. The longer you're in the queue, it expands the ELO radius of people you can meet by 100. So I could meet one of the best players in the game. You know, someone got 400 ELO. I can meet someone with 800 ELO. You know, if I stay in it long enough. And meeting someone with either way is not going to be very much fun for me. Meeting one of the best players in the game with a budget deck that I'm using as a demo. Although that's good in the sense that you can see a better player than me playing a really good deck. It's not fun for me. And again, beating up on a newer player, I don't particularly enjoy either. So we're gonna cancel. This is taking a long time. Do you want to do one more match here? So let's see if we can't beat somebody. Come on, Adversaries. Find me somebody. I want to fight. Did I have the music turned off? Options. Nope, it's on. Come on. There's gotta be someone that missed. Oh, we got matched. Alright. Who do we got here? Ooh, Intrepid deck. Shikes. I don't know Shikes. I do know that Intrepid is a retreat deck, and it's super obnoxious to play against. So we will see how we do. Don't really need these cards. He might have Spock, he may not have Spock. We just want the lower top cards. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so this card, this is an event that if you go second, you draw 4 cards instead of 3, and you get an event. It's dilithium upgrade, you gain 1 energy, 5 auxiliary power. This allows you to, you know, play a 2-cost ship on turn 1, potentially. I don't need to do that. I have a turn 1 play. So I'm just going to play my turn 1 play. Awesome, we have Kolos. So we're going to put Kolos over here
Don't thank me
in
yet.
the defense spot. And we can trade with this ship without losing my ship. Remember, Kolos has a nice core breach effect. So when this ship is blown up, not only do I get a Jacques Pass to my hand, but I summon another ship. So it's a pretty good value. That ship he played, by the way, that's
I can take care of it.
Oh, he played Cassidy Yates. Cassidy Yates, so the ship he summoned its Guardian modulated shields means that it takes 1 point of damage. Any damage, the first damage dealt to it is negated. And Cassidy Yates, you can play her, you summon a Bajoran Freighter. Alright, so what we're going to do is it's turn 3 now. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to play the Burrell Bird of Prey. Value trade. We're going to attack for 2. He still can't trigger his special yet. He's 1 turn off of his special. He plays Scotty or Harry Knot, which isn't likely because Alright. So he plays his second Type 15 shuttle pod. It's quite obnoxious. I don't have to attack with this, fortunately. What I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead, we're going to use my upgrade here. We are going to trade... Oh, wait. Let's hit my special button. Hit the special button. We're going to go ahead, we're going to grab the Escort Bird of Prey. We're going to play the Escort Bird of Prey. Not going to deal 3 damage to his face. We're not going to attack with this ship. I'm going to go back into cloaks so that I can get a better trade. So the main thing that you want to do when you're up against Intrepid is you want to try to take out these shuttlecraft as quickly as possible if you can. Okay, so we'll escape this retreat, deal 1 damage to all enemy ships. And he plays this. This orders this ship to retreat, so he gets the Delta Flyer Mark II. And then he buffs it so that I cannot take it out. It's all very good plays, except for the fact that I'm just going to reduce its hit points to 1. I'm going to destroy it. Because I don't want all of that nonsense. We are going to go ahead and we are going to get the value trade right here. And again, 1 off of using... See, I could have gone face there for that extra damage, but I don't need to. I've already hit him for 10. I don't need to push that extra damage, and I want to deny his auxiliary as long as possible. So, although this is generally an aggressive, pushing damage deck right now, because it's Intrepid, I have to try to control the board.
My loyalty is to my crew and my family back.
It's a really good ship. It's, you know, you retreat. That's another thing. Whenever you retreat crew, it goes back into your deck. So,
I'm a doctor.
yep, that makes sense. I can't not play ships. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna drop these 2 heroic warships. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference if they take 1 point of damage. They don't really care. He's obviously going to retreat this. He's signaled his intention. This is a retreat draw card, so Lar deals damage to my ships. So it's 100. So we already know what he's going to do this turn. He's signaled his intentions very clearly. And this ship. So this ship, its Guardian, when a friendly ship retreats, it gains modulating shields. So now, because of that, I will spend all my efforts trading with this, and I can't take out this ship. It's a very good way of protecting your obnoxious retreat ships.
This is Captain James Kirk of the USS Enterprise.
Interesting. He plays Captain Kirk on it, so he's going to get Captain Kirk back. That also means, by playing Captain Kirk here, that this ship will destroy everything that I play. So, you know, he's making a lot of good plays here. I don't have a lot of answers. Fortunately, he's running low on cards. That doesn't help me at the moment. So we are going to do this anyway. And what else are we going to do? We can play the Bornak. Arms Freighter. Just so I can keep pushing that card. Because right now, one of the big advantages that I have against him is card advantage. I have a lot more cards to draw from him. Here. It's interesting that Captain Kirk is a very aggressive card. This is a retreat-based deck, so it's interesting that he has Kirk in it.
Diplomacy is the art.
I'm on Nacha. Yep, that retreats my ship. So the first thing we're going to do, we hit my special. Always want to hit that special right away. There it is, just what I need. Normally, look, I could grab Final Sacrifice, maybe even should. But we're going to grab Die with Honor, give target friendly ship or so I can use. And unfortunately, this can't trade all that well with this, unfortunately. But what I can do, I don't have any crew either to buff this ship and get a little more attack. Kind of wish we played a different ship at this point. But what I can do is I can play my Railbird Prey. We give it Core Breach. We attack here. Do a nice little board clear. He's already got his special. And I have another special because he did so much damage to me that last turn, which is good. I mean, he's trying to be aggressive there, but did a lot of damage, so that means I get 2 specials in a row here. And he's running out of ships that can instantly retreat his Delta Flyers. He's used Nechayev, he's used... He's running some very aggressive cards for a retreat deck. Very aggressive. I'm not quite sure why. We're going to do here. We're going to put the Gorn. No, we're not. First things first, we're going to hit this special button. Always hit the special button first if you can. Die with honor. Very helpful. We give this core breach. Die with honor. Destroy that ship. Destroy that ship. Do a rock here. Damage we need. Now we're gonna play this rebel shuttle because our health's getting real low here, and we definitely want that extra health. And you can see that where that die with honor is just such a great card because it's interesting. He steals it, plays board cube. He's running a very unusual deck here. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't have enough to take this ship out. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, yeah, I do. 2, 4, 6. I can just barely take out that cube, clearing my whole board. Not the best. I can't rebuild my board. I've never seen an Intrepid like this. These are very unusual card choices. So we have a ton of card draw here. So we're going to draw a bunch of cards. 2 cards there. And draw cards here. Wow, you would have been really nice earlier. We're gonna go ahead and do this. I really don't want him pushing any more damage to my face. So we're gonna play the G7 Cruiser. And we're gonna play the Model class. Jacques class. One downside is that I have to try to finish this match quickly because my deck is getting kind of thin. I do have one more of these, so I can use that to try to heal again. I don't think he has any more ships that can steal my ships. Running Locutus, running Board Cube. Very unusual choices. Does that. Again, I can't stop him. One thing that I can do, however, we're going to go ahead and heal this for 2. We're going to go ahead and hit my special. We are going to grab this die with honor again. We are going to start pushing some more damage. Because I've only played 1 card here. All that extra is going into auxiliary, so not sure why he's playing that card, because it's most likely not going to have a chance to reach. Alright. So, let's see here. What are we going to do? So, the first thing we're going to do, give this ship die with honor. Go here. Damage to all these ships. I get a card. Boom, we blow that ship up. I can use this to take out his ship. Use this to take out his other ship. We clear the board again. I can push 6 damage. He still can't use his special. I can continue to rebuild my board. I'm going to play this because this summons gives me an extra ship on Bloodthirst. I have just enough by not using all my power. Saving that 1, I have just enough for another one. Oh! And I guess he conceded. Okay, so, as you can see, you can use this deck to beat, you know, some... To be fair, that was an unusual Intrepid deck, but he also had a number of legendary cards. He had the Augment Bird of Prey, he had the Cutis, he had the Board Cube, Captain Kirk, and I just used this deck you know, with not even doesn't have any rares, I use it to, you know. So as you can tell, it's a pretty good flagship, even for beginning players. There's a lot of good cards that you can have right away, or in just a couple of, you know, a little bit of playing with quarks that you can have right away to build this deck. It's a lot of fun to play. You have card advantage, you have board advantage. It's really hard, you know, if you know to lose board advantage with this deck because you're constantly, excuse me, summoning new ships. It's a lot of fun to play. We're gonna bring up that deck list again so you can see it. We got Barak. You have 2 bottle classes. Oop, that's the wrong. That's my deck. That's the wrong deck. Sorry. We have Barak, 2 bottle classes, the 2 Talaxian shuttles. You know, to heal your guards, to heal that, you know, the 1 bloodthirst ship. We have Toral, 2 22nd Century Birds of Prey, Gorn, Shadan, the Klingon Arms Freighters, Kolos, the Raptor class, Railbird of Prey, Herodian warships, Kraz. We saw that auxiliary power that first match that really helps getting that early auxiliary out. Rebel Klingon shuttle, the Denos, the Vornak, this 1 D5, D7, Vorchaw, 2 Vorchaws. Again, and you don't have to do this deck. Like, if you don't have the Vornak, you don't have the Denos, you don't have some of these ships, you don't have Kraz, you know, feel free to play around, to experiment. There's a lot of other cards you can use. You don't have, for example, maybe instead of the Klingon Arms Freighter, you want to use the Bajoran Research Transport because you want that extra damage. We saw, actually, how this Arms Freighter doesn't trade well. It has the core breach is stronger, but it doesn't trade well. So you might, you know, instead of the Arms Freighter, you might want to go with the Bajoran Research Transport. Of course, this is a common. This is a basic. That's a common. So if you don't have that, this is a great card. A lot of good cards you can use. Harold Marcus to build off your ships. Art Darvin, he's a fun card. He gives you a card from your opponent's stack. He's kind of fun. There's a lot of cards that you can use that are just really good. Claw is fun if you just really if you're looking for legendaries, I have Core. Core is amazing because you get that extra auxiliary power, you get that overkill, extra damage. He's amazing. As far as legendaries, if you have some legendaries, some Latinum, you're looking for some legendaries, you're not sure what to go with. Let's look at a few that would be good for this particular deck. We have Baitor, deal 1 damage. The Empire together. Core is just always great. That auxiliary, that overkill. Lursa is great because she gives you, again, more card advantage. This deck already has a lot of card draw, but with Lursa, you could potentially take out some of these card draw cards. You may not need Barak anymore. You may not need the Arms Freighter anymore, or, you know, so if you put like Lursa in, you can take out some of these weaker cards like this and put in stronger 2-drops like the Jacques class or something else, you know. I have Gowron. He's amazing. He's really good in any Klingon deck, but he's amazing. As far as core breach goes, Koloth is so good because, again, he helps board clear. One of the things that this deck is so good at is clearing the enemy board and making sure that you have ships to do that rest of that damage. Koloth does it again. You know, his core breach, he does 3 enemy damage. He's great for this. Krell. You kind of have to... Krell, I wouldn't recommend if you're a newer player because he's really a combo card. Like, you kind of have to build around him. But all core breach effects on a ship with this crew trigger twice. So, for example, if you have Krell on the IKS Duras with Duras on it, just you get 3 copy. You get you know, just incredible value off of Krell. But I wouldn't recommend him for a beginning player just because he's harder to get. You can get amazing value off of him, but you have to have the right cards and the right effects in place. Harry Mudd is actually a really good card. He's kind of like Core, but instead of just giving the auxiliary, he slows down your enemy. He's just a really good card. Shang is great. The IKS Duras right here. Bloodthirst +2 attack. That core breach. Return the ship to your hand. Amazing. So you can see where Krell on the IKS Duras would be awesome. Kalex.
I am the strongest, the bravest warrior.
On core breach, you gain 20 auxiliary power, so that could be very powerful in a deck like this. It's built around core breaches. You know, I could give you an instant ultimate possibly, or an instant special. Let's see. Valjean's always just a great card. I mean, the Valjean's just a great card. Augment Bird of Prey is a great card. The Volklang is amazing in this deck because of that core breach effect there. Martok, if you can play around him, he's kind of slow, but core breach, return Martok to your hand with a copy of the ship he was on, can be amazing value for Martok if you can get him killed quickly. The Sarcophagus ship, core breach, summon 2 random ships in your deck into play, so that can be pretty powerful. The Negvar is the one I was talking about, the ICAST Negvar, when a friendly core breach effect is triggered. So there's a lot of powerful, even the Kreechta. The Kreechta is another really good ship for this deck, even though it's neutral. It's a 5/7, so it doesn't have quite the stats, but core breach, summon stolen USS Stargazer, NCC 2893. USS Stargazer, I believe, is a 3/4 core breach, deal 2 damage to all ships. So again, you're getting a ton of value off of the Kreechta. You get 2 ships, you get a big body, 2 ships, a core breach effect. So there's a lot of good cards that you can get. But really, if you just have, let's say, you know, maybe you just have Cruz. You get randomly get Cruz off a pack. He's good. You can put Cruz in your deck. It's never a bad thing to have Cruz. He can take out a lot of ships, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of great cards. A lot of great cards here to pick from. So just, yeah. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you learned a few things about the Raptor class, how to kind of go about building a deck, working with the theme of the deck, you know, playing around with the core cards. Sometimes when it comes to those core cards, you know, even if you're ahead, picking a card that will help you get behind. There's just a lot of things that you can do, a lot of things to think about. I really hope this helped. I hope that you see this and you're like, wow, that's helpful. So, and if not, let me know what I could do to be more helpful and to be a better guide. Thank you for watching, and hope you live long and prosper. Also, Kapla! Glory to the Empire!